My name is Hannes Þór Halldórsson and I'm an Icelandic filmmaker.
Langur dagur á skrifstofunni.
Já, var ekki lítil saklaus borg lengur. Annan.
Eitt, hann komin heim.
Hello, Reykjavík.
It started 10 years ago as a comedy sketch or a trailer for a comedy show, which the lead actor and one of the other lead actors, they are like a comedy duo in Iceland, and they had this comedy show, and they decided to have a trailer competition, and we made a trailer which was quite funny, and people liked it, and we were asked to make the whole movie out of that trailer. So we wrote it 10 years ago, and then 2 years ago we picked it up and we rewrote it and make the script better and update it, but that's how it started. It started out as a trailer before the movie. This is a low budget movie, so we had to find ways to make it happen in a very short time. We shot it in 20 days, which is very short for a movie like that, especially like an action movie where you have a lot of scenes and cuts and slates. And we were shooting it during a COVID pandemic, and the movie is way too big for its budget, so we had to find ways to try to make it happen. Plus, me being a football player, and we shot the movie during my season. I don't know if you know about that, but I was also playing a football season while we were shooting it. So the whole crew had to, be flexible and work around my schedule as a football player. And we divided the shoot, so we did the exterior, everything outside in September, because we couldn't wait until after my season, because then we would be shooting in the winter. But still we had to rely on the Icelandic weather in the end of September, which is usually bad. And we were hoping for the weather to be dry, and normally it's raining and windy at that time, and we only had this 1 week to shoot it because I had a national game coming up, and then the winter was starting. So it was we had to have a lot of luck on our side, and we did, luckily. So that's the short version, but we had tons of problems. My favorite film from the childhood would be Jurassic Park. I saw that movie when I was 9 years old, and it was the most amazing thing I had seen at that time. I mean, number one, the movie is really good and it stands time. You can still watch it today and it's very good because the story and everything is good. Seeing dinosaurs for the first time, this realistic, and the music was amazing. I was seeing this big blockbuster spectacle, as a 9 years old, and it was an amazing experience. I always mention that movie because it has a special, it gives me some special feeling when I hear the music, when I think about it, and I can always watch it again. How it inspired me, I mean, I can't say that I'm taking anything from Jurassic Park, at least not in the movie I'm making now, but I always remember that feeling of how much it impacted me, how I was so afraid, but I also was so excited and everything. It just took me to a roller coaster ride of feelings, and to have that experience, to have a movie touching you this much, to get that emotions out, is something that I think is in the back of my brain as a filmmaker. This is the impact you can have on people if you make a good movie, and I think that's inspiring.
Við erum með fullan völl. Við verðum að byrja að rýma.
Halli minn, þessi sprengja er ekki að fara að drepa þig. Það ger ég það sjálf. Nefnum þú grjót, stein, nagl, haldi kjafti.
Yeah, first off with the national team, women's national team, I think it was a good decision, but in Iceland it's not a huge decision because the Icelandic the national team of the women's national team is a big thing in Iceland. They are big stars and they have been doing well for a long time. So for us to have them on was a privilege. But still, I mean, it's maybe a bit more unusual than having the male team, and I can feel that when going abroad that people think it's interesting, and so yeah, I hope that we are shining a light on women's football by doing that. About the two main characters, I don't want to say too much about their relationship. Don't have any spoilers, but we felt that taking this concept of making an action movie in Iceland and turning it into a comedy might be too thin if we only do that. So we had to try to get the characters to have some soul, and give the story heart and soul, and make it a little bit vulnerable. By doing this, I think we made an original character. I have not seen this twist on an action hero before, and I think it gives the character, this is his struggle. This is he dealing with his own prejudice and the way he thinks, his role is in society as a tough super cop, and this is a movie about him, realizing that this is 2021, and he can feel whatever he wants to feel, he doesn't have to be ashamed of it. So that's kind of the message. I mean, I had no choice. I knew how much we could afford. We could afford 20 days of shooting, and I just had to deal with it, try to make it happen. So we had to be creative in the ways we did action scenes, in the way we prepared the actors for the action scenes. Some things you can do and it looks the same in Lübeck or Reykjavik as it does in Los Angeles. You can have two people fighting in the street with one camera and no lights, and it looks the same if you do it in daylight in Iceland and LA. So we could use some tools that are the same. We could not blow up any cars, we could not destroy any buildings or anything like that, but we could try to use the things that look the same and match Hollywood. Then we had to have editing, we had to have a good sound design, and we had the most important part almost is the music, where you take these scenes where you really just have 2 or 3 people, fighting in a garage like you're making a high school movie. But if you have the sound and the music making it bigger, it's gonna feel more epic. And it's not possible to do it alone. You have to have people with you and to enjoy what they're doing. So I would say that was the most positive part. Yeah, I hope I will make more films. I hope this will open up doors for me to do it. And I will do maybe not movies exactly like this, because this is a little bit unique, but I think I will try to get mainstream structure and the mainstream type cinemas a little bit more into the Icelandic film market, so that we have Icelandic movies with Hollywood structure, and you have movies that people want to see. It has Icelandic trademark, but still, movies that people want to come and see in the cinema. So a little bit more mainstream type of movies than you have been seeing from Iceland before.